In my history of teaching fitness, I actually started by working with kids. I started what a lot of personal trainers do through coaching. And I was a coach of gymnastics, diving, track and field for 20 years. And through that time, in working in 6 different states, I had the opportunity to work with almost every aspect of health and fitness challenges to teens and preteens. We're talking anorexia, bulimia, obesity, but also lack of confidence, anxiety, depression, and even bullying. I always wanted to come up with a program that deals with every aspect of those challenges, create an empowered teen. Well, we've got it. And we're discussing it today, the Preteen and Teen Catalyst Program with Joshua Gooch today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. I appreciate you joining us. Really excited about this program. If you've been tuning in to our podcast for the last few weeks, we've been talking about it. We've been promoting this podcast, and I'm very excited to finally bring it to you. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness, and I wanted to let you know how to get in touch with us if you have any questions about this podcast or any others, or, of course, anything concerning health, fitness, and wellness. I'm sorry, I'm going through this quickly because I'm excited about getting to our subject matter today. But if you're interested in contacting the show, you can contact us at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE, E-D-G-E. You can reach me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That is also our website, which is personaledgefitness.com, and our Facebook page. Now, in the intro, I talked about my history as far as working with kids. I actually coached in 6 different states, mostly in the finesse sports. I was a pole vaulter in college, so I got to work in, of course, track and field. And I was a diver, coached a couple of diving teams. I've told stories from those teams before. But the bulk of my training, the bulk of my coaching was actually in gymnastics. Everything from preschool markets all the way up to highly competitive markets in both Dallas and Tulsa. If you know anything about the gymnastics world seems to be synonymous with eating disorders. And of course, I saw a lot, but I saw a lot in every age that I work with. My heart went out to these kids, watching them go through different challenges, not just through eating disorders, but you know what it's like to be a teen and how challenging it is. And I wanted to find a way that we could, in a healthy way, address those problems. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about it with my guest today, and I'll welcome back to the show, Joshua Gooch, our Eastern Shore manager. Josh, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Garrett.
And I was about to go off on a tangent without even introducing you because I'm so excited to be talking about this because of the program that we've developed and that we are launching. The basics of it are based in our Catalyst program, but we're attacking it from a very different way. It is not only learning about nutrition, learning about weight loss, learning about body control. So much of this is actually for the mind. I mean, it's a completely different approach.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have the catalyst side, and of course, I know you've gone into great detail with that, but really and truly, I wanted to take it from an approach of how I train kids, teens, adults even, is when they come and see me, I want them to feel better about being themselves. Literally, that's my approach. You know, yeah, the exercises, you know, that's all fine and good, but I wanted to take that, them feeling better about being themselves, and really that's the driving force behind this Catalyst program that I'm running.
When I talk to people about this program, it is interesting you say that because that was the joy about what I always got from working with kids, whether training them in our facility or working and coaching them. Might as well tell you now, I didn't know all the best dives. I went 15-2 as a pole vaulter. There are kids in high school that are doing that far better than I am now. I can't say I was the best coach as far as those fundamentals were concerned. Yeah. But what I really enjoyed is the same relationship I had with my best teachers and best coaches. When I say best teacher and best coach, somebody comes to mind when you think of that. If you really dive down deep into it, it's how they made you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
And that's what made the difference. When I talk to people about this program, I say, more than anything, what I want out of this program is I want every kid that goes through it to feel like all those kids that you've had an opportunity to work with and what they feel like. I sit there and watch them in the facility and see the difference it makes. Yeah. At the same time, we're dealing with the side of it that was always challenging is nutrition. Talking about nutrition, talking about weight control, talking about weight loss without running into developing problems, which I saw time and time and time again of people trying to do the right things, but they were actually creating problems when it came to body dysmorphia, when it came to kids being out of shape, and this approaches it a different way.
Yes, it does. Yes, really, the drive of it, again, is getting that mindset because, as you spoke to a little bit, the teens now, they're so inundated with social media and how do I need to look, how do I need to feel, even friends, bullies, all that going on, and especially now with even more access to that, I would say, is they have an idea of how I need to feel and how I need to be, and this is the real focus and what we wanted to address. What we wanted to address with this is attacking that mindset. How can I, help with that,
right,
with the focus and all the other things we're going to get into.
Right. That's the crux of it. To some people, it's going to feel like goes together like peanut butter and mustard. But as we describe this, you'll see where all this works together because it all comes down to one. I'm not going to blow your surprise here, but it all comes down to one particular issue. And we've seen that not only in kids, we've seen it with adults. I'll tell you a little bit about how we approach it because it's kind of a two-part approach. Before I do so, I want to keep reminding you, if you have any interest in this program, if you have a child that has to be struggling even with any of these challenges, and we'll list some of the challenges we're talking about, please contact us. We'd love to tell you more about the program, get you involved. You can contact us at 251-278-3343. Contact me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. Josh, Josh, at personaledgefitness.com. We'd love to speak to you about it. But now this is, I'm going to say two-pronged. Yeah. There's actually three parts to it, but I'm going to say two-pronged. And I'm going to say, okay, let's talk about what I call the easy stuff, the physical side of it, the catalyst side of it. We say the catalyst side of it, nutrition side of it, and what have you. So what we do in this program is we teach them a healthy relationship with food. With all due respect, if you have a child that happens to be overweight, or struggling with challenges there, or just doesn't understand because of all the misinformation's out there, what is supposed to be their healthy relationship with food. And it doesn't have to be, it's just like people that come through our Adult Catalyst program. Not all of them are involved in weight loss, by far. They just need to understand all this misinformation that's out there. So we address things like this. We actually make some modifications to their food. We teach them about cravings. We teach them about stress. We teach about how these different things affect how you feed yourself, feeding the body for sport, and basically using it for energy and having a joyous relationship with food. What I mean by that is because of the good food, bad food, ridiculous argument, we've gotten a love-hate relationship with food. And like Lynn Barnes, who I've had on the show before, as a dietitian says, her mom had a book called The Joy of Cooking. We're supposed to enjoy this. Yeah. And we would like for them to understand this at a young age, before they get too perverted with all the misinformation out there.
Yes.
And so we do that. We actually track that. It's done in a group setting. And so we're creating a healthy peer group when we're doing this. And those are things that we're looking at and addressing as far as the nutrition side of it. But that is not the answer. The way this works happens to be because of the other side of it, which happens to be the empowerment side. Josh, tell us about it.
And again, getting back to getting these kids to feel better about being themselves. And again, I love reading and digging in. Okay, how can I take that main focus, that main pinnacle, that main point, and how can I drive that home with what you're talking about with Catalyst? Well, we found kind of the, I don't want to say perfect series, but we found a really, really good series, the Sports for the Soul series, Darren Donnelly, that does that, uses these inspirational stories to teach positive mindset, to teach these messages, we could call them these tenets in each of these different books. Right, yeah. So kind of combining a little bit of the messages throughout the weeks as we're doing this, each one of these different principles, these tenets, so to speak.
Okay, give us an idea of what you mean by these tenets. I mean, take that a step further.
So again, like you said with Catalyst, we're talking about, the myth of good food versus bad food, craving versus hunger. Well, with these, it's looking at, and I wrote them down, I don't want to forget anything. Again, what does our focus need to be on? When I ask my guys, I say, guys, what should we focus in on? They're going to tell me two things, my effort and my attitude, okay? That's the first one. That's week one, okay? We go into, talking about perseverance. We're talking about loving what you do, dreaming big, setting goals, not making excuses. These are just parts that I've taken and really combined with the lessons of Catalyst.
And bringing them together, because that's what it boils down to.
Yes.
And as we say in our Catalyst program with adults, and I say it to every one of my clients, this making these problems about food is absurd. That's not where our problems exist. Our problems exist right here.
Oh, yes.
And every person that you've got that feels great about being themselves doesn't have these challenges. And so working towards that is the way we do it. And then trying to reach it with the kids. Well, the Sports for the Soul series is fantastic. And the stories are actually
they're
great.
Really interesting, easy to read.
Extremely.
So
for adults, for adolescents, what have you,
absolutely.
they're exciting. Now, the interesting thing, the way that we teach this class is making each one of the class individual. In other words, what I mean by that is that classes are, how long the classes run?
They're about, each of the classes is about an hour long, but they run for 8 weeks total.
8 weeks total,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
And we've got communication going on amongst the entire group, along
Yes.
with the instructor, daily.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And every single one of the guys in my group are checking in every day. That's weekdays and weekends.
Yeah, involved, plugged in, connected.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Each one of the classes are centered around one of the books. And actually, you can come in there's not an order of them.
No.
I mean, optimism and facing fears and even living your best life.
Yes.
They're one class to themselves. So it's not like first grade, second grade, third grade.
No.
It is take any of them as they come.
Yes.
That makes sense. So you're hearing him talk about something which is interesting. You kind of let the cat out of the bag here because he's talking about his boys. Well, we've got a pilot program running on this, and we're having, you tell me whether or not we're having success. Tell me a little bit about it. What ages are we looking at here?
We're looking at 13 to 17 is the age range we want to be at.
And this is for both girls and boys. Mm-hmm. 13 to 17, I mean, that's basically what the range you've got in the pilot program. So you've been running it now for?
We're on week 5 right now of, like I said, an 8-week program.
8-week program, so, great.
Yeah.
Tell me some stuff that you're seeing. What changes are you seeing? And this in 5 weeks now.
Kind of when we talk about these different principles, taking ownership of, okay, this is my program. Okay, this is not mommy, this is not daddy's program. For instance, I had one of my guys, ran into him at the grocery store, and he's looking at me. I'm looking at what he's got, and he's going, no, I'm getting this for mom and dad. I'm sticking to the program.
Right.
being very specific about I am sticking with this.
He said that without you even asking him?
Oh yeah, no. I just kind of looked at him, and he's like, no. This is not for me. This is I'm sticking to it, Josh.
That's great. That's fantastic.
One of the things that I like to do is, again, talking about not making excuses, taking ownership, is when the guys, and a lot of them that I do train, one-on-one as well, they'll come in and I'll look at them and go, guys, where's your water bottle at? Where's your water bottle at? And they'll look at me, and they don't do it as much anymore. Right. At first they're like, well, mom left it in the car, or dad left it at home. And I go, no. Let me stop you right there. That's your water bottle. All right, that's not mom's, that's not dad's, it's not mine. That is your responsibility to do. So they've kind of picked up on that and started bringing their waters to their sessions.
We've talked about this in many podcasts before about the key to, one of the biggest things we sell is accountability. And having accountability, having ownership. 3 weeks ago, I did a podcast on the ultimate way to be successful and to be responsible is to take ownership. Yes. Take ownership of your action. The answer to any responsibility, did you succeed or fail? Did you do this responsibility? There's only 3 answers. Yes, no, or I messed up. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's extreme ownership, taking ownership. Well, that's what we're teaching in this program. That's what Josh is discussing. It's so different than when we interview a parent and child. And when I say child, everything from 7 years old to 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And they come in to talk about training.
Yeah.
And whether they're getting ready to because they want to try to get a D1 scholarship, or they're coming in because they're out of shape and parents are concerned because their child's not getting active in anything. They've shown an interest in this. What we do in that interview every single time, we always tell the parents this, is that, look, at some point in time, I'm going to turn this interview around and I'm going to ignore you and I'm going to talk to your child. And the reason being is I'm going to ask the child, okay, what are you here for? And I want to know what they're thinking, what their plans are with this program. And why am I saying that? Because I want them to take ownership. Dr. Holmes last week talked about that, about working in nutrition and getting kids to own it by selecting, okay, give me your favorite 3 vegetables or fruits. Yeah. And turn it to mom and dad, have those available. But now the kid has made the decision, okay, these are my favorites. Now they're starting to take ownership. That is what we're doing in this program, is taking ownership with them.
Absolutely. And something that, that I'll do as well is, when I'm talking to them, I'll turn to the kid and say, give me, 3 of your goals. And if you don't know right now, when you come to see me that first session, you bring them in.
Right.
Again, talking about ownership and where our focus is,
Right.
our focus is on. Another example I had was, a couple of weeks ago, I had, some of the guys didn't show up for the meeting. They had things to do for their family. And I said, all right, guys, tomorrow, we run our weekly program on a Friday. I said, tomorrow being a Saturday now, I said, I want you guys to come in the morning. I want you guys to get the lesson for the week. I want you guys to weigh in and check in with me. And it was 2, and I show up Saturday, and of course, I'm thinking, oh, it's early morning, it's Saturday, I know these guys are in it, but how much are they in it? Yeah, they're going to come in, they're going to call me. About that time, I'm thinking that. All of a sudden, I see a truck pull in, one of them shows up, and then about that time, I get a text message from one of the other guys saying, hey, listen, I'm getting some gas, I'm going to be there shortly.
Oh, man.
So again, both
5
of them
weeks.
showed up, they took ownership. This is their program.
Right, in 5 weeks.
In 5 weeks, yes.
And side note on that, and it's funny I'm throwing this in as a side note because it's not our main focus. It happens because we're changing.
Yeah.
We're changing what's going on here, which is why this really happens. But in 5 weeks, in 25 days, you're somewhere around there. What's your average weight loss?
14.5 pounds.
That's
But again, that's not the focus. That comes secondary to them feeling better about being themselves, them taking that through high school, out into the world, out into college, and into adulthood. That's what I want for them.
instilling that confidence at this early age.
Yes.
So exactly, because now you can finally say it. I said at the beginning, I gave a teaser on it, that it all boils down to one basic focus. And we talked about this actually last week with Dr. Holmes. He talked about the key to all of his 5 pillars of health when working with a child. And it all centered around one thing. And it's funny because Josh has got this program centered around that same thing, and that is
That's the mindset.
Yeah.
That's what I would say is absolutely where's that mindset at.
right. Where's that attitude? Where's that
Yes.
mindset? And,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's what we're driving home. Don't get me wrong. We do go over nutrition. We do talk about the different aspects of that. We do actually make some changes to their eating program, and we do teach them about that. But it boils down to there's only 2 reasons why we overeat. 1, lack of water. Number 2 is stress. Period. There is nothing else. There is no other reason. By the way, if you quickly say, well, I eat out of boredom. Boredom is a form of stress. I overeat because of celebration. Celebration is good stress. Those are the only 2 reasons we overeat. So that is all what's going on in the brain. That is all centered around how your child feels about themselves. Are they being empowered? Are they able to conquer their fears? Are they able to deal with optimism? That's what this entire book series does.
Absolutely.
And this is how we're driving this home.
Yes, because if I can have, another of my guys come in and say, I went to see my grandmother the other day and she was telling me how good I was looking or whatever, and that made me feel so good. I mean, I have done my job.
Period. Exactly. And that's the crux of all of it. I've been promoting and teaching this program now for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been working with kids. Well, Lord, I've been working with kids now well before I even became a personal trainer. So this has been a focus of ours, and I've told the story about how the business was named. It was named PE. My wife was the one who came up with the words personal edge. But the reason I have PE on the building is that everybody needs physical education all their life, and it starts as kids. Dr. Holmes talked about that. You want to really build a foundation, start it with children. Well, this is a culmination of a healthy way of approaching those conversations with your kid, a safe way of working with your kids as far as weight control is concerned, relationship with food, but most importantly, building that confidence.
Yes.
Conquering those fears, really helping them. I cannot wait to start launching this program. If you're interested in joining us or you're interested in finding out more information about the Catalyst Team program, please contact us at area code 251-278-3343. Again, that's 251-278-3343 or 278-EDGE, EDGE. You're welcome to contact me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. Josh, I'm sure they don't mind contacting you.
Oh, not at all. At Josh, Josh, at personaledgefitness.com.
Great, and we'd love to answer any questions about it. This is something very near, and you can probably tell from this podcast, this is something very near to mine and Josh's heart about reaching your teen, helping them through those extremely difficult years. If we can, please reach out and contact us. We'd love to speak to you about it. Making a real difference at preteen and teen for the rest of their life. Just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.